Welcome to Metaphysical Soul Speak. I'm your host, Elena Fox Starks. Hey guys, I hope that you're doing really well and recovering from the Christmas holiday. If you're Jewish, you're still going through your holidays until the 30th, so you still have 3-4 days left. I hope you guys are getting through it just fine. I hope that whenever and wherever you are taking everything in stride and you're cherishing every single moment of your life, because you never know when it could be your last. And I'm going to read you guys a story that blew my mind. This is from NBC News. By Sarah Jackson. She's the author of this article. A man hiking in California was struck and killed this week by a giant redwood tree that fell on him. Subradeep Dutta, age 28, of Edina, Minnesota, died Tuesday after the incident in Muir Woods National Monument Park in Mill Valley, California, according to a news release from the Marin County Sheriff's Office. Dutta was walking on a trail Tuesday afternoon when the giant redwood just collapsed, authorities said. And so basically he was found unconscious and lifeless under the tree. He had sustained, obviously, severe traumatic injuries and was pronounced dead at the scene just after 5:00 p.m. He had been hiking with 2 other people when he was struck. One of the women was treated at the hospital for injuries from falling debris, and a man hiking with them was completely uninjured. The Marin County Sheriff's Office and personnel of the Coroner Division offers our sincerest condolences and best wishes to the family and friends of Mr. Dutta, the Sheriff's Office said Thursday in a news release. The tree was 200 feet tall and more than 4 feet in diameter, according to the Associated Press. However, his death is ongoing, and a forensic postmortem exam is scheduled for Friday. So, first of all, best wishes is what you say to a bride before her wedding day, not to a family after their 28-year-old son was randomly struck by an enormous tree falling down. I'm so sorry for the Dutta family, and Subradeep has an amazing story to tell in heaven. But I started thinking about karma today, and I also thought I've been thinking for a couple days about how people choose to leave the planet. And Metaphysical Mike is going through a major grief and loss phase in his life right now when his one of his best friends from grade school was killed a couple days before Christmas in a snowmobile accident. He didn't explain exactly what happened, but snowmobiles are very dangerous and very, very, very fun. But if you don't know the land you're traveling on, you won't see the wire, and a lot of people get decapitated from snowmobiling. And they also, snowmobiles can go through ice that isn't fully frozen. If you're traveling on the surface of a lake, a frozen lake or river, sometimes the ice will give way. It'll crack, and then all of a sudden, that's it. My parents used to travel by snowmobile. They had a snowmobile club, and they'd go up and down the rivers in Minnesota, and they'd go camping in the snow. and having a good time, and then they travel back down by river, and they would come home, not on the snowmobile. They'd actually put on a trailer and come home, like, in a truck. But they'd be gone for like 3-4 days at a time. They had a blast doing that. And, snowmobiling is fun. It's like, doing something you love. And the same thing with this Subra. He died doing something he loved. Going to see the trees. And then one of the trees killed him. It's like, wait a minute. These trees are rooted deep, deep, deep into this is karma. It's got to be karma. Or it's just that he decided to die in a kind of a weird way. It's not really hilarious. It's a little funny. It's odd. I've taken my kids, not to Mill Valley, but I've taken them to the Redwood Forest. And we've driven through all the trails, and we parked our car and we walked through the national parks there, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's one of the most mystical, magical, amazing places in the whole wide world. The trees are thousands of years old. They're enormous. Some of the trees are so big that they cut part of the tree out and you could drive your car through the tree. So it's pretty incredible. But I don't know. I think that, just go out and do what you love, but don't take it for granted. Cherish every second you have, because you never know. You never ever know when it'll be the last moment. So enjoy every moment completely and totally to the fullest. I had ordered a year's worth of Gaia. I don't know if you guys know about Gaia. Gaia.com is a website that has movies and TV shows and really amazing series, and they have yoga and Pilates classes. And if you pay for a whole year in advance, it's like $6 a month, something like that. Like $6.83. It's like $7 a month. So it's not very much money. It's like half the price of Netflix. And I've been watching, since yesterday, I've been watching all kinds of really, really amazing shows, and listened to a woman channeling the Pleiadian council from the 9th dimension, which and she cleared up some things for me today, and I was really happy about that, because when I channel the Pleiadians, I've been channeling the Pleiadians from the 5th dimension, and they are physical and they're incarnate, and they're going to come and visit us as soon as we hop on it up to the 5th dimension. Michael Sherahan, I cannot wait to meet him. And she said that there are, with the Pleiadians, some reptilians, and I believe that it's possible that Taronha, my boyfriend, that I had a dream that was my boyfriend, and he was blue and green, and he's visited me. He visited me yesterday for a few minutes, told me he missed me and couldn't wait to see me again. He's an old soulmate, and he's not my twin flame or anything, but he's an old soulmate, and he's like really handsome, but he's got blue and green skin and kind of like scales a little bit, not hard and rough, but like almost like a snake, or like snakes, they look weird and rough, but when you touch a snake, they're very soft. They're very soft, especially if they've just shed their skin. They're very soft, but and it sounds kind of creepy the way I describe it. I don't mean to make it sound creepy and weird, but anyway, he visited me. He's very sweet. He's very intelligent and has a great sense of humor, and he's somebody that I've had many dreams with, and my kids had dreams of him. When he first started coming to me in dreams, he also came to my children in dreams, and they were like, Mom, this is going to sound weird, but you've got a boyfriend who's from another planet. And in the future, when all the people start coming here from other planets, and we become like a way station for all these people to gather, and when everything is open, and when we have a federation, like a galactic federation or whatever, they didn't say that, but my oldest said it'll be like Star Trek, where everybody knows everybody suddenly, and we won't be alone in the universe anymore. At least we won't feel that way. And And but both my kids were saying, yeah, like he brought these cool inventions from his planet, and he ended up being your live-in boyfriend, and we approved of him, and we really love him. He's like really a really sweet person. I'm like, yeah, it's so bizarre because I had a dream about him too. I mean, both my kids and I had the same, or not the same dream, but different dreams about my having, a boyfriend in the future from another world. So he came to visit me, but I found out that it's very possible he might be Pleiadian. There's more than one planet in the Pleiades, but it was cool that this lady kind of, she mentioned that, and I felt like, oh yeah, okay, now that makes a whole lot of sense. And she was also mentioning that the Pleiadians some are in the 9th dimension and some are in the 5th dimension. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, wait a minute, we were in the 3rd dimension and our heaven is in the 7th. So it does make sense that incarnate beings in the Pleiades would be in the 5th and their heaven would be in the 9th. But also it makes sense that there would be in that galaxy or that star system, the Pleiades are 7 different stars, and there's a lot of different planets surrounding those stars. Now, some of them would be in the higher dimensional realms. Like we've got Venus, which has absolutely no one living on Venus, but in the higher octaves of Venus, in the higher dimensions, there are beings from Venus. They're probably in the 9th dimension. And I started thinking about all this, and I love Gaia. I'm like loving this already. I've already watched like 4 or 5 shows. I've been watching Cosmic Disclosure, which is a super fun show. There's a lot of shows about ascension. So, if you guys have, as much of a thirst for this kind of knowledge as I do, I'm excited. I mean, I think I had a vision when I started to order that I'm going to be on one of the shows one day, or maybe have my own show one day on there, which I think would be super fun. I really love that. I don't know how it's going to come about right now, but you know what? It's not for us to ever work out the hows. That's the universe's business, and we just have to, wish for something or think about it. And I saw a vision it was going to happen. I didn't wish for it. It just like appeared to me. So I'm like, that's really cool. And I saw years ago that I was going to have a tour bus and have a tour in across the United States, and that somebody else had designed the tour bus for me, and they had my hair flying all over the bus, and they wrapped the whole bus with the advertisement of us being on tour. I thought that was pretty cool. Having that vision was wild. I'm like, and I never thought I would go from city to city lecturing, and now I'm considering it. Now I'm like, that would be actually super fun and really cool, and that I would go on a lecture tour and have free lectures all over the U.S. and sell my books, and it'd be really fun. And I think but back then I didn't know why or how am I going to do it? It has to have something to do with spirituality. I don't know. But now I'm doing the show. I'm like, oh yeah, I could see that this might be the Metaphysical Soul Speak tour bus, So I've been opening myself to a greater field of possibilities as I go up higher in vibration. So it's been really fun the past few days, just opening myself up to all these things. So Gaia is like Netflix, but it is for spiritual things and things related to extraterrestrials, aliens, ancient origins, archaeology, new discoveries in archaeology. Linda Moulton Howe has a show on there, and Greg Braden has a show. So all the people that have been kind of staples, the go-to people, we read their books, and for many years, for the past 10 or 20 years, these people have been around, at least people I've turned to, and was fascinated and entertained and informed and educated by all these people. And they all have their show. They'll have shows on Gaia, so I thought that was kind of neat. And even the movie Outsourced, I don't know if you guys ever saw that TV show, was one of my most favorite TV shows. Then I found out it was a movie, so I watched the movie, fell in love with the whole storyline, the characters, the whole thing. And even Outsourced, the movie from which the TV show sprang, is actually on Gaia. I was really blown away by that. So my son and I have plans this week to watch Outsourced because it's one of our favorite movies about a man who has to go train his own replacement in India before he gets fired, basically. But the boss said, well, we'll probably give you a position, so don't worry. We'll find you in a position somewhere else. So it's like, kind of sucks. It's like, you gotta go move to India. And that happened to my sister. And she was really bummed about it. But I think she said, no, I'm not going to go train my replacement in a foreign country. Sorry. And I'm like, why not? I mean, it'd be a really amazing opportunity. But they refused to move the whole family there. And she's like, I'm not going to leave my kids for a year or 2 years. That's ridiculous. Just so that in 2 years I'll be jobless. That's ridiculous. Like, yeah, you know what? I completely agreed with my sister on that one. I thought they were going to move the whole family over there, and she refused, and they gave her a new job for more money and with a promotion. And they respected her, and she'd been at the company that long, and she said, forget it then. I don't want to, I've already been at the company 10 years. I'm not going to spend another second here if that's how you're going to treat me. And so they actually, she stood up for herself, and they treated her with respect. So it was pretty cool. But anyway, I've been watching Gaia, and I've had to pause it quite a bit today because I bought my son a food processor. I think I mentioned it yesterday, and he's so excited. He woke up early this morning, and he went in there, and he immediately started making things. I don't think there is a nut in a half-mile radius of our house that is safe, because he realized we had the little silicone baking cupcake things, but you could also use the little part at the bottom to make peanut butter cups. But he made walnut butter cups. He made walnut butter, and then he made this gourmet candy that was absolutely out of this world. I couldn't believe he did it. I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. And then he said, oh, I have another idea. And he asked it for money, and he went next door, came back with heavy cream, and he made whipped cream. And that sounds like, okay, well, whatever, everyone has whipped cream, but no, not here. There isn't. The only whipped cream we have is Ready Whip in a can, and it's almost $8 for that. And then plus it has the stuff. It's not 100% just, cream and sugar or whatever. It's got a couple preservatives in it. It's, a lot better than Cool Whip, which also does not exist here, and which we wouldn't eat anyway. But I don't know. He was like, oh my gosh, I can make these things that don't exist here. I can make this whipping cream, which doesn't exist here. And he bought a big bag of almonds. He made almond butter, which also we can't find here. We can only find peanut butter. They call it peanut paste. It's the same thing as peanut butter, but they just call it paste of peanut, basically. Pasta de mani. And one time I saw it where it says mantequilla de mani, butter of peanut. Basically peanut butter, but only one brand calls it that. And then if you want to get peanut butter from the United States that's imported, again, a little teeny tiny jar of Jif is $8. Sometimes you could get something on sale for $6, but that's outrageous. You make 6 sandwiches and the jar's over. The small jars. So we always buy the local stuff, but it's not terribly good. So my son's like, oh my God, you gave me this amazing, the best Christmas gift ever, because I can make peanut butter, I can make almond butter, I can make walnut butter, I can make all these butters, we can make jams and jellies, because, we could chop up the fruit really fast. Then today he made himself a vegetable and fruit salad. You put apples, basically broccoli and cauliflower. I'd steamed the vegetables for him yesterday, and he forgot. And he didn't eat them, so I put them in the fridge. Today, boom, it's a salad. And he's just experimenting with everything. He's like, this is incredible. This is one of the most incredible things I've ever had. And so he's so excited. So it's been a really fun day, just watching him really enjoy the hell out of his gift. That made me very happy, even though it's been so loud. I'm like, oh my God, the noise. It's like a jet engine in my kitchen. But it's okay. Small sacrifices. I love it. I'm so happy that he's like, and then this evening he made us shrimp burgers. He's like, I can make shrimp burgers now. And I'm like, oh, well, all right. He's like, well, that's your dinner. I'm like, all right. So he made us shrimp burgers. And earlier in the day, he made me barbecue chicken, although he didn't use the food processor for that. But he had roasted chicken last night, and he's just going to town on the cooking thing. He's like, he really wants to be a chef. He also wants to be a psychologist and a photographer, and he's already an excellent photographer. But he wants to go to school so he can have it all down, so he understands all the different components of cameras and different things. So he's very ambitious. I'm so happy about that. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that. But the shrimp burger he made, which was pretty good, and then I added mustard to it because I like mustard. And right before I went to record this, it just repeated on me, and I got this just stomach acid stuck in my throat, and it's been stuck in my throat for like an hour. And I've been gargling with baking soda. I drank a bunch of vinegar right away, vinegar mixed with water, and that closed the stomach valve. I don't know what happened. I've been pretty good. I haven't had any indigestion or heartburn or anything, and then suddenly this. I know it was that darn shrimp burger, but it was good. It was maybe it was worth it. But it's been really interesting around here this last 2 days, with our good Christmas. And this afternoon I took pictures, and the camera didn't pick up on all of the energy I was seeing in the normal sky, but there was looked like pink plasma clouds in the sky. And I put it on my Facebook Messenger. And if you're friends with me on Facebook, you can go and look at these right now. They're on my my temporary feed. They'll be gone by tomorrow, but I still have the pictures on my phone. But this it's like a blue sky and then with pink plasma blobs. And it's kind of like very see-through. And then on the edges of it, the sky is actually amethyst purple. And it was very beautiful. I was blown away. I took all these pictures, and one of my pictures, I had my door open and the hallway light on, and I took all the pictures without the window in front, except for one, because I couldn't get the right angle. And my friend's like, oh my God, look at that beam coming out of that cloud. And like, oh my God, there's a light ship, and it's like a round light ship. And I'm like, oh my God, it's my round hallway light. And my door's only open a little bit, so like the reflection of the glass made it look like a UFO with a beam of light coming through the clouds. And all my friends are like, oh my God, you captured a spaceship. And at first I was like, oh my God, that's so, oh my God. And it turns out, no, I didn't. I'm like, oh no, it's just my hall light. I thought that was so funny. I was like, no, not quite exactly what that was, but that was like so trippy. But I don't know about you guys, but today was the day. Okay, we had the eclipse last night. I watched it last night, which was pretty cool. And it's like I had to run to the bathroom. I'm like, oh, eclipses take forever. And I come back, and the Ring of Fire part had already happened. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? The one part I was hoping for. And I saw it when the sun, it gave an exact perfect symbol of Taurus with the moon in front. It was just so incredible. I was like, oh my God. It was, I don't know why. It was better than expected. And I felt touched by it. I felt moved emotionally by it, which is, it's kind of weird. It's like we all know it's going to happen, but I felt moved by it. Anyway, so that happened. And then today there was a couple different pulses of energy. Not only was there the pink plasma in the sky today and purple energy in the sky, and there was a lot of really beautiful, many different colored blue clouds. So there's a lot of blue energy out there too. and golden energy as well. I saw the golden again. And I had about 2 times in which there was like a mass, like the cosmic nap energy where you just like, all right, I'm out, and you just fall asleep for a couple hours or half hour. And then you wake up like, oh, that was weird. I'm totally fine now. I was like, I'd had enough sleep. I was fine. And then all of a sudden, boom, cosmic nap. And I had some wheatgrass, and that gave me some magnesium to help my back, which my back has been really hurting. I don't know about you guys, but my back, my hips, my neck have been really, really, really bad. And no matter what I do, it's like impossible to fix. And for a couple hours a day, I was having a hard time moving. Like I couldn't even move. It's like I would love to go to the gym and go swimming. It's 50 cents, I found out, just not that far from here. And I would love to just go, just take a quick dip, and, to exercise. And all of a sudden, it's like I couldn't move today. I was like, no way. And we were thinking about, this week we got to go. I'm like, oh, if I'm like this, I can't move at all, let alone walk anywhere, let alone swim. But I ended up taking an Epsom salt bath, and that did fix at least half of it, like 50%. I was better, and I realized it's really and truly, it's the magnesium. So I am bound and determined tomorrow or the next day, I'm going to go, there's a health food store, I'm going to go over there and ask if they have a magnesium supplement. I don't know why there's something weird about Ecuador when it comes to certain things, and this is one of them. When I go to a pharmacy and I say, do you have a magnesium, magnesio, they look at me like I am asking if they have dynamite to blow up my truck. They look at me absolutely shocked, like, why would I ask such a stupid thing? And in Peru, one country over, I would go in and ask for magnesium, and they'd give me a choice of 3 or 4 different magnesium supplements. Because in Peru, it seems like they're more health conscious. On every, downtown in Lima, on every corner practically, they've got a juice stand. You go and you order what kind of fruit juice you want, and they will fresh squeeze it right before your very eyes in that moment. And you get all the juice from the fruit, even if it's 2 cups or 2.5 cups. It's all yours, like you bought it. This is your grapefruit, this is your fresh squeezed orange juice or your apples. And they make the juices for you. And then they have like little restaurants for surtidos and batidos. And a surtido is just just fruit mixed with water, no sugar, but sometimes they add sugar if you want. If it's going to be kind of, but you could just say, I want to phrase a surtido, which is just strawberries mixed with water. And, the strawberries and the water are cold. And so it's just like it's like a smoothie. But you just tell them exactly what you want. Or you could tell them what part of your body is giving you a trouble, and they will make one for you. And it's like a common knowledge thing there. And a batido has milk in it. So some people want strawberry and milk. And so, and especially for like little kids that they need the higher amounts of nutrition, they'll just add, the parents add milk. But it's very, very common there, and I don't see that here. I don't see the guys on the corner squeezing the grapefruit for you fresh. We do have a lot of fresh fruit here, a lot of tropical fruit, a lot more than we did in Lima, but people don't utilize it the way that they do there. And so when I ask for, I've asked for vitamin C, and they don't have a full spectrum vitamin C here. They just have vitamin C and zinc, or vitamin C. And it's and sometimes it has magnesium mixed with it, but you can't get a magnesium supplement apart from everything else. And I find that very odd. I mean, I've gone into bodybuilding stores and asked them, they're supposed to be there for nutrition for people building their body. Magnesium, helps you, with your muscles and your joints. And it regulates your sodium and your potassium flow. So it regulates your heart, and it helps you release excess water weight if you have too much sodium in your system. Magnesium is really good for you, and it just drives me crazy that I can't just walk into a normal store or a pharmacy and get a magnesium supplement, or even like one of these bodybuilder health food store places. So I found a health food store that's run by gringos, and I'm going to go. But I have Moringa, which it has a lot more potassium than magnesium, and that's not what I need. I need like a only magnesium thing, because it regulates the potassium and the sodium. And if you have too much potassium, then you have to start supplementing yourself with sodium, and you guys know that could get dicey, right? So I'm just like, oh my God, this is like ridiculous. But so wish me luck, hopefully in the next day or two, if they're open. They might be closed for the holidays, but if they're open, hopefully I'll be able to go in and get some magnesium. It's just like, what else is, my son's like, just have a bunch of chocolate. I'm like, well, I agree with that. I love chocolate, and we make hot chocolate here, and he and I make it from scratch, so there's not much sugar in it. And sometimes we do it with stevia, so it's like completely sugar-free and healthy. But I mean, I need more magnesium than will give, that I can get in a cup of hot chocolate or 3. So I've been really like, what am I going to do? And I feel my body craving it. And there was a little health food store that closed, and I used to get my magnesium from this lady, and she'd sell me a little bag of it. It was like a little baggie with a little Ziploc baggie, and it was like 3 inches tall and 3 inches wide and 1/2 inch thick, and it lasted me for a year, and I felt amazing. I had no pain in my body. I felt really good. My water weight was down. I didn't have to take as many diuretics, and even now I don't have to as much. But yeah, it's been driving me nuts. It's like I really need magnesium, and just the way that people look at me here when I ask if they have a magnesium, and they go yes, and then they give you a full spectrum, all the minerals you need, with only a teeny tiny bit of magnesium. I'm like, no, I need magnesium only, and they just look at me like I'm nuts. And I asked someone one day if they had potassium. And again, I got that, you're out of your mind. Why would you want to take potassium? It's like I could tell that the education is different than in the United States. But my education came from my own looking into this stuff. I mean, I wasn't educated in high school about this stuff at all. Even in college, I wasn't. And I took a nutrition class, but they didn't really talk about this stuff. So I don't know. I can't blame the educational system here, because even in the United States, people don't really know. You have to look into it on your own and really research and study it. But I even worked in a health food store. I was a manager of a health food store. And even then I didn't know about the magnesium, potassium, sodium connection. Not until recently with Dr. Berg on YouTube, his channel. He's like a fountain of information. So anyway, but I did manage to get some ibuprofen, which I never take ibuprofen. And I have a little bit more movement, and I'm not in as much pain as I have been for days. So I don't know, guys, wish me luck. Wish me luck. But anyway, I want to go over some of the crazy news. Or one thing is crazy news. The rest of the stuff is regular news, I suppose. I'm not going to read the galactic bubbles are not a mystery article. It's really, really intense and interesting. So if you want to go to watchers.news to see that, it's a very good article. I read it, but it's a little bit beyond the scope of the show. And it gets into some deep cosmological ideas and theories, and the article kind of assumes you know quite a bit about it already. So I'm just going to kind of leave that there. Let me just leave that there. China unveils digital courts with AI judges and verdicts via apps. So literally, China has developed mobile courts with the artificial intelligence judges, and the verdicts will be delivered through chat apps. This is so that they can deal with backlogs in their cases. The litigants will appear by video chat, and the AI judge with an avatar will hear the case. What do you guys feel about that? What the hell? What the hell? I mean, is that even fair? It might be more fair, if their judges are impartial, it would be more fair. But what if the AI doesn't understand what you're trying to explain? What if your story is completely unique? I don't know. I'm reading this just going, what the heck? So there's this paper about this. Let's see. The country's urging digitization to streamline the case handling within its court system using cyberspace technologies such as blockchain and cloud computing, according to the Supreme People's Court in a policy paper. Yeah, and what if it's hacked? What if your brutal enemy hates your guts and hacks your court date to rule against you because he hates you, not because it's justice? I suppose that blockchain will help it not be hacked, but I mean, still, right? So the paper was released in the first week of December as judicial authorities provided journalists a sneak peek of the country's first cyber court, which was established in 2017 in Hangzhou City. Social media platform WeChat has reportedly handled over 3 million legal cases already, or other judicial procedures, since its launch in March. 3 million cases have been handled by artificial intelligence. Well, if that just doesn't take the cake, we are in the future already, guys. In a demonstration, authorities presented how the Hangzhou Internet Court works, featuring an online interface with an AI judge that prompts the hearing. Cases handled in the digital court include online trade disputes, copyright cases, and e-commerce product liability claims. Litigants can register civil complaints online and then log on for their hearing. Such simple functions can help ease the burden on human justices who monitor proceedings and make the significant rulings in each case. Okay, so there are some humans involved. Like, what if there's a glitch and just rules in favor of all the men or all the women without any other, things taken into consideration? Concluding cases at a faster speed is kind of a justice, because justice delayed is justice denied, said the Hangzhou Internet Court Vice President Ni Difeng. The use of blockchain technology was useful in helping streamline and create clearer records of the legal process. A total of 118,764 cases have been accepted. 88,401 were concluded, according to the Supreme People's Court. The mobile court option on WeChat enables users to complete case-related actions without having to appear in the court physically. Oh, well, this I agree with. This I absolutely agree with. When I was going through my divorce, we had 17 court dates in 18 months. So, it was ridiculous. It took us 18 months to get a 6-month divorce. On the days when we were getting ready to conclude something, he would send his lawyer to say he was sick and couldn't attend, and could we stay it another month? It was just like so many delays, and it was just the most ridiculous thing ever. And in order for him to go to court, it was like an hour for him to drive to the court. It was like 35 to 40 minutes for me to drive to the court each way. So it was like a great expense to us. Like gas was expensive at that time, and time, it's like it takes 2 hours out of our day just for the driving, and up to 4 hours because there's so many other people having their cases heard. Not enough judges and too many cases. So I do kind of agree that, they probably wouldn't do divorce court via app, although can you imagine? It'd be so easy streamlining it. But let's see. It's now been launched in 12 provinces and regions throughout China. So I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? That's kind of weird, right? But it could work. If you can provide the evidence in a digital format, because you're going to have to provide evidence as far as copyright cases. You're going to have to be like, well, this is, what I did and when I did it, and here's a copyright, and here's the date the other person stole it. You're going to have to provide, probably digital evidence, right? So you'd have to upload everything, and then maybe you'd have to get a notary public to sign it. I don't know how it's all going to work, but interesting. All right, well, Fanphone did touch down in the Philippines, otherwise known as Ursula. The typhoon made its first landfall on Tuesday, and it had sustained winds of 120 kilometers per hour or 74 miles per hour. That's what makes it a typhoon versus a hurricane. Hurricanes are up to 200 miles per hour, and the gusts were up to 94 miles per hour. It was a category 1 hurricane equivalent. 16 people have died, and tens of thousands have been affected by it. So still continue prayers for the Philippines, please. You might just want to say the whole world at this point. But so for the whole year, so far to date, 75 asteroids have flown pretty close near Earth. Close as far as, cosmology is concerned. I don't know if we were in any mortal danger, but, nothing obviously got trapped in our gravity field. But 2 newly discovered asteroids flew past Earth within 1 lunar distance on December 18th. So a lunar distance is between us and the moon. That's it. Easily could have slammed into our moon. That would have been a disaster, but thank God it didn't. So yeah, 75 asteroids like this have come near us this year alone. We are in a different part of the universe now. We're in the photon belt, so we can expect this to continue. There's going to be a lot more debris, but I don't think we're going to get slammed. I think we're going to be fine. Destructive winter storm did battle Oahu and Kauai on Christmas Day in Hawaii. A destructive winter storm pounded the islands in Hawaii on Christmas Day, resulted in a landslide, knocked down trees, electricity disruption to over 18,000 customers, floods, and also multiple traffic accidents. So pray for Hawaii. A cold wave has swept over northern Bangladesh, and it disrupted normal life, and it caused a lot of suffering. 4,500 people were treated in 40 different districts due to cold-related illnesses since December 18th. So this cold wave that's been sweeping over northern Bangladesh has just been pretty bad. I heard that in India, not only the homeless people are now seeking shelter, they have set up emergency shelters, but also for people that own homes, because it's gotten so cold, and India is normally a hot place, and they don't even have heating. No one has any heating. They don't need it. It's too hot. And suddenly now it's too cold. So that was very weird. They discovered a massive meteor crater in northeast China recently, and they don't know when the meteor hit. They don't know how old it is. But there was a lake that they believe to be 10,000 years old, and none of the water's in it anymore. But they honestly don't know when the Earth was hit. They think it might be very old. But they didn't even know the crater was there. There's only 190 meteor craters like this throughout the world. So it's pretty interesting that they discovered that. Tropical cyclone Saray forms near Fiji, and it's expected to reach landfall at a Category 2 strength. So prayers going out to Fiji as well. I do know one person from Fiji. I lost touch with them a couple years ago, but I was like, that's like one of the coolest places to be from, because it's just not a very big island. It's in the middle of nowhere, but the water there it's just absolutely pristine. But now this is happening, so I guess there's a trade-off, right? Live in paradise, and once in a while that happens. Now, in this year, from April through December, they've been having in Angola a really bad drought in the Cunene province, and 72,000 heads of cattle, more than, have died due to water shortage because of the drought and pasture shortage because grass can't grow when there's no rain. And so I guess they don't know what they're going to do. I mean, 72,000 cows have died that they would have used for food. In Burundi, in Bujumbura, Burundi, 14 lives were claimed by flash floods. On December 22nd, 33 people were injured. So also thoughts and prayers going out to Burundi tonight. So that's it for as far as the Watchers is concerned, and the world news and the storm news and earth changes news. Schumann resonance today for Italy is calm. And the Schumann resonance from heartmath.org, we're going to look at that right now. Now the page has to reload. Okay, here we go. Got it. All right. Let's see here. So in California, they started off at 105. I'm kind of expecting an earthquake now because they were pretty low yesterday. It's jumped up quite a bit. They started off at 105 hertz frequency at midnight, and they went all the way up to 143 by 5 a.m. And Hafuf, Saudi Arabia, still at zero, flatlining all the way across, as is Northland, New Zealand, zero all the way across. Lithuania started off at 89 hertz frequency at midnight and went to 93 by 5 a.m. And Alberta, Canada started off at 66 hertz frequency at midnight and went to 75 by 5 a.m. And Hululu, South Africa started off at 311 hertz frequency, and by 5 a.m. they were at 317. So there you have it for the Schumann resonance news. We're going to quickly hop over to acim.org, and A Course in Miracles thought for today is, only my condemnation injures me. Only my condemnation injures me. So obviously you can't condemn anyone without condemning yourself, without hurting yourself. So only my condemnation injures me, and only my own forgiveness sets me free. All right, guys, there's 13 paragraphs in this lesson, lesson 198 at acim.org. If you want to do the research for yourself, you are more than welcome to. It's absolutely free. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break. When I come back, we're going to talk about the magical spiritual significance of gemstones right after this message. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's high time you did. It is the absolute easiest way to make a podcast. First of all, it's absolutely free. Second of all, they have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. You guys have known that I've been doing this for 8 months using the Anchor.fm app right on my cell phone, and I have done it everywhere, right? I have recorded this in my living room, my bedroom, little cafes in Quito, Ecuador, all over Cuenca. It's so absolutely easy to make your podcast, and editing is just a snap. Anchor also will distribute your podcast for you, and it took me about 2.5 months to become syndicated, and now I'm available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more, and so can you. You can make money from your podcast also, and there's no minimum requirement. You get paid from your very first listener. It is everything that you need to make a podcast all in one place. So please, if you are interested in making a podcast of your very own, do not hesitate to start with Anchor. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. Metaphysical Soul Speak is run on sponsors and listener support. This means listeners like you. If you are so inclined to support my efforts and my little podcast, please visit me at anchor.fm/metaphysical and pledge an amount of your choosing today. Thank you. One of the most extensive studies of gemstones that you can find is a book written in 1913 by George Frederick Kunz, Kunz, and the name of the book is The Curious Lore of Precious Stones. So you could go to Gutenberg.org and read this on your own if you want. It looks very, very interesting. And he was, back in the day, one of the top gemologists in the world. So he had studied extensively the lore and the lure and all of the things gemstone related, including all the hidden meanings, the occult meanings, the birthstone, birthday, month, because when you are, when you're born, you have a gemstone for the day you're born, for the month you're born in, and also under the sign you're born. So, for example, I'm born in August, so peridot is my gemstone. But because I'm a Virgo, sapphire is also my birthstone. So it's pretty cool. And then also there's purple stones somehow associated with August as well. So every month has one or two gemstones that are associated. Like October is associated with pink tourmaline, but also with opal. And, just for an example. So if you were born in a month in which you just don't like your gemstone, you might have one or two other gemstones from which to choose. If you're born in April, then who's going to give up diamonds, right? But you might think, well, that's a little bit boring. They're kind of a clear stone usually. Although sometimes you could get yellow diamonds, or I've even seen black diamonds that were absolutely beautiful. They're kind of darker in color and a little bit more mysterious. But I've seen diamonds that were blue or pink or reddish in color. Some diamonds are really beautiful. They're not all just boring and white, but they're very, very sparkly. But the thing is with diamonds, if you do buy them, make sure that they are not blood diamonds, that nobody was made to be a slave to get the diamonds for you, and no one was killed for them. You have to be very careful where you get your gemstones, lest you incur more karma, right? So there's a really interesting article I found in, it's basically Vogue magazine online, vogue.com. And this article was written in 2017 by Alexandra Malmed, Malmed, if you want to look it up. I'm not going to read the whole article, but I'm going to go over some of the things here. The name of the article is called Rubies for Blood, Emeralds for Truth, the Hidden Meanings and Histories of Your Favorite Gemstones. And I thought this was a very interesting article, so I thought you guys might enjoy parts of it. I'm just going to read the part about the stones. I'm not going to go into the whole. If you want to go read it yourself, you can. Ruby in Sanskrit. The word for ruby is Ratnaraj, or King of Precious Stones. Now, in ancient Hinduism, it was believed by some that those who offered fine rubies to the god Krishna could be reborn as emperors. Rubies were divided into 4 castes, of course, right? The Brahmin, for example, granted the advantage of perfect safety. The stone is also mentioned at least 4 times in the Bible, usually as a representative of beauty and wisdom. Numerous early cultures believed, because of the stone's likeness to the color of blood, that rubies did hold the power of life. Among European royalty and the upper classes, rubies were thought to guarantee good health, wealth, wisdom, and success in love. And they are one of the most sought-after gems. My grandpa always bought rubies for my grandma because it was her birthstone. She always had rubies. She just loved her rubies. So, and the legend in my family, at least, is that my grandpa's great-grandpa or great-great-grandpa was one of the kings in one of the little parts of Ireland. There were many, many kings in Ireland. And so maybe it's true that the European royalty liked it. I don't know. But my grandpa he was a roofer. I mean, we just grew up in California and just normal people. Thanks to the Queen of England. But we're not going to go into that. All right. Lapis lazuli. Lapis has always been associated with royalty and deities. And it may be where the idea of royal blue came from. Egyptians believed that it came from the heavens and provided protection in the afterlife. So they used it in the statues of their gods, in the totem objects, jewelry, and in burial masks. In the epic poem called Gilgamesh, Sumerians spent years traveling from one end of Asia to the other in order to mine and obtain the stone. Lapis is included in numerous other myths, but has served practical purposes as well. Ancient Egyptians used it to create blue cosmetics. During the Renaissance, painters ground up the stone to make ultramarine pigment, which often was used to depict the seas and the skies. Lapis was often placed in tombs alongside the deceased in Asia, Africa, and Europe as well. Now, what I do know about lapis lazuli, and by the way, ruby is meant to cleanse your blood as well. Lapis lazuli is a fertility stone, so be very careful with it, lest you want to get pregnant. That's, in fact, in Egypt, Egyptians, even modern day Egyptians, consider lapis lazuli the best stone to wear if you are married and trying to get pregnant. And they do warn against it. They just will say, oh, I wouldn't wear that if I was you, unless you want a baby right now. I actually, an Egyptian actually told me that once. I was like, whoa. Emerald. Now, according to legend, an emerald was one of the stones given to King Solomon as a gift from God. God gave emeralds to King Solomon. This is a gift that endowed the king with power over all of creation. Now in South America, down here, Incas did use emeralds in both their jewelry and religious ceremonies. And I do know that there are mines down here in South America where you can get emeralds. It says, but the Spanish, who generally treasured gold and silver far more than they did gems, traded the stone for precious metals. In doing so, they made European and Asian royalty privy to the stone's majestic qualities. Some even believe that placing an emerald under your tongue could help you see the future, reveal truths, and be protected from evil spells. Wearing an emerald was believed to grant a person the ability to reveal the truth or falseness of a lover's oath. Now, one thing I do know about emeralds that I've read is that emeralds are a truth stone, and what happens is if you have an emerald in a wedding ring and you are unfaithful, the clarity of the stone will turn cloudy. For a man or a woman, doesn't matter. And I thought that was very interesting. Another thing I'd heard is that Cleopatra wore emeralds during the day, and at night she wore her night emeralds, which were the light green peridot stones. We're going to talk about those in a little bit. But the next stone up is amber. Technically, it's just a fossilized tree resin, usually made from pine tree resin from millions of years ago. It's considered a gem, but it's not really a gem. It's not even a stone. It's just, fossilized tree resin. In Norse mythology, Freya cried tears that turned into gold and amber every time her husband was away. Amber is affiliated with electricity and light. I did not know that. That's interesting. We derive the word electricity from the Greek name for amber, electron, and the stone, once believed to be made up of congealed sunlight. Ooh, that's such a strange and unique idea, isn't it? Oh, look, the sun got too dense here and created this amber. It's so crazy. I like it. It was sacred to the Greek god Apollo. The Chinese believed amber to be the soul of the tiger transformed after death. Oh, that's really interesting. That is very, very interesting. I love the mythology surrounding amber. Now, moonstone. In Hindu mythology, moonstones are believed to be comprised of solidified moonbeams. Oh, of course, if amber is congealed sunlight, then moonstone must be solidified moonbeams. Other cultures associated this gem with moonlight as well. The geological structure of the stone scatters light, creating a phenomenon called autoluminescence, which visually resembles scattered moonlight. Similar to beliefs about emeralds, some ancients thought that placing a moonstone in your mouth during a full moon could help a person glimpse his or her future. You know what, guys? I don't think we should be just placing random rocks in our mouth, whether they're beautiful or not. It's kind of strange. I mean, you could try if you want. Clean it first and be careful not to swallow it, because that could ruin your day. Tourmaline. The ancient properties of tourmaline vary quite a bit by region. According to Egyptian legend, the stone found its array of colors, which could be pink, blue, green, yellow, or red, when it left the Earth's center and passed through a rainbow. Some African and Australian shamans believe that they were teller stones that could locate sources of trouble, provide insight, and suggest direction towards good. In numerous cultures, black tourmaline was believed to protect against dark magic. I actually have a pretty sizable chunk of black tourmaline right here on my nightstand. and it's kind of like black and white mixed, and it gets rid of negative energy. It's wonderful. So let's see, where were we? So these are where did I? Okay. Oh, and Native Americans gave certain shades of the stones tourmalines, as funeral gifts. Wow. Sorry about your dearly departed. Here's your parting gift. That's really strange. I'd never heard that before. So yeah, black tourmaline not only protects against dark magic, it literally will cleanse the air around you, especially if it's the black and white one mixed together. It will pull in negative energy and transform it and put it out into the atmosphere as positive energy again. And snowflake obsidian does the same thing. Technically not a gemstone. Diamonds not only are a girl's best friend, according to Marilyn Monroe, diamonds are the only gemstones comprised of one pure element, carbon, the molecules of which bond in perfect symmetry, and they make the hardest naturally occurring substance on the planet. Due to these physical properties, they've long symbolized power, strength, innocence, incorruptibility, which is kind of ironic given the political nature of diamonds in today's world. Also longevity, constancy, and good fortune. There is a Buddhist teaching upon one of the most important Mahayana sutras called the Diamond Sutra. Topaz, early gem cutters, I'm sorry, it's hard to see this word. Cutters. This font is really strange. Okay. Early gem cutters cited topaz as a stone that's capable of protecting the wearer against disease and untimely deaths, strengthening the intellect, lessening anger and sadness, and eliminating cowardice. Topaz is said to be able to cool boiling water, become invisible in the presence of poison. Oh, that would be a fun trick. And create its own light. The mystic and Roman Catholic saint Hildegard of Bingen claimed that she read prayers in a darkened chapel by the light that emanated from a topaz. I'm going to do a show on her at some point. She's pretty special. And I remember I went to a church, and they did a whole thing on her. And I can't remember where the church was or why we were there, and I don't even know who was. And you know what's weird is I keep thinking about this lecture, and I was there with my husband, and we thought it was very interesting. And I guess it was in Grass Valley before my kids were born. And we didn't go to church ever, so it was weird that we went to this lecture on Hildegard of Bingen, but she was very special and very metaphysical, very mystical. So I'm definitely going to do a show on her. I just have to read up more on her first. The next gemstone isn't really much of a gemstone. I think it's maybe considered semi-precious. Labradorite has the capacity, called labradorescence, to change in color when it's stricken with the light. Native Canadians believe that the gemstone increases your energy, reduces anxiety and stress, protects a wearer from danger, and aids in communication with supernatural forces. Now, something I read, I think I might have even read it on the show a number of weeks ago, is that labradorite is considered to be a piece of the Northern Lights congealed. So it's like if you could capture the Northern Lights, now it's the labradorite. Pretty interesting. Next we come to my mother's birthstone, garnet, and she was born in January. My grandma, who is Ruby, was born in July, so Ruby is July's birthstone. Garnet is January's, and we're coming up on that in just a few days. Garnet is another one of those stones that's thought to be given by God to King Solomon. Hades gave out pomegranate seeds, which are often associated with the stone. So he gave pomegranate seeds to Persephone. But you could say garnets might have been what he gave her to before she left him as a token of safety. So garnets are often given as gifts upon departure for travel. When given in this context, they're believed to grant quick, safe returns and eradicate the emotional distance between separated lovers. Garnets also have ties to light and to work. Plato is said to have had his portrait engraved on a garnet by a Roman engraver, and it's said that Noah used a finely cut glowing garnet to illuminate his ark. That's a weird one, right? So 2 stones we've heard tonight can illuminate. So I want to know more about that. For their color, garnets can symbolize the blood of Christ, and in the Quran, garnets are said to illuminate the 4th heaven of the Muslims. Well, I've never heard that in the actual Quran, and this person spelled Quran and Muslim. She spelled it as Muslim. So I don't think she knows what she's talking about, but we're just going to go with it for right this moment. I don't think that's true. I never heard that there is a 4th heaven. I've only read in the Quran that there is the Garden of Allah. That's it. Basically heaven. And I don't remember reading that there's different levels exactly to heaven. So that might be aftermarket books, or maybe somebody she knows told her that after reading an aftermarket book. I call it the aftermarket book. It's not in the Quran anywhere that I've read. So no. And I've read, okay, maybe the last 3 chapters I didn't read, but the rest of the Quran I read almost all of it. So cat's eye. Cat's eye is believed to protect soldiers from death by making enemies believe their targets were already dead. In Hindu lore, the placing of a cat's eye on your 3rd eye was believed to increase your meows. Not that. Sorry. Was believed to increase psychic abilities and drive evil spirits away. Each of these beliefs stem from the fact that the stone's dark bands appear to transform into bright ones and vice versa as you move it. The phenomena demonstrates that opposites are not mutually exclusive. Dualistic doctrines, light as a symbol for goodness and dark as a symbol for badness, for example, are artificial and subjective and can be dissolved. All right. Agate. Agate is believed to endow those who wear it the favor of God, and also it gives you a bold heart. It's said to increase fidelity in marriage and love. Roman farmers once carried talismanic agates in the hope that the heavens would grant them bountiful harvests. The ancient Persians, relatedly, believed that agate could divert storms. I've never heard that. That's interesting. Opals. Opals are made when bits of silica gel get deposited into the crevices of rocks. They've long been regarded as one of the luckiest and most magical of all gemstones because of their ability to show many colors. According to Arabian legend, opals fell from the heaven in flashes of lightning. In Greek mythology, Gyges, Gyges, I've never heard of this. I've read Greek mythology a lot, and I've never heard of this. Gyges found an opal ring, and it made him invisible. He then killed the king of Lydia and married the queen. Well, isn't that lovely? Despite the implications of this myth, opals are affiliated with hope, purity, and truth. Now, my dad was born in October, and I loved opals. I always wanted to wear opals because it was my dad's birthstone. And he told me we don't really, or he says, I don't really want you to wear opals because opals do bring bad luck to the wearer if it's not their birthstone. Well, my aunt she had never heard that and bought me an opal ring with diamonds. It was a gold ring with one opal and 2 teeny little diamonds. And I was about 16 years old. And I wore it and I wore it and I wore it every day. I loved it so much. And one day I went outside when it was snowing out and I forgot my gloves and I was late for the bus. And as I was running, my ring slipped right off my finger and I didn't even feel it because my hands were cold. And I never, ever saw that ring again. And I told my dad and I was sick about it. I was crying and crying because I felt like it was a connection I had to my dad even when I'm in school. I really loved my dad. I was very close to him when I was a kid. And he told me, I told you, opals are bad luck unless it's your birthstone. So, keep that in mind, just be cautious with it. So that's a Vogue article. Now, I found on gemselect.com, and you can buy gems from this website. I was looking at this quite a bit, and it's a very, very thorough and beautiful website with a lot of really interesting articles, myths and lores, and you name it. So gemselect.com, gemselect.com. And I'm going to read from this article called Gemstone Meanings, Symbolism, and Powers. Now, before I get into it, I'm going to tell you 2 other websites that I did find. I'm not going to read from them because their stuff is extremely thorough and they give 1 to 2 paragraphs on each gemstone, and then it says learn more, and each learn more, you click it and it goes to a whole page, which is a couple pages on each gemstone, right? So they're excessively thorough. So the first one is beadage.net, beadage, or beadage or beadage.net. And the second one that I'm also not going to read from, but they have everything. They have like amphibolites and ammonites and ametrine. Like, they have so many things. Absolutely thorough. Again, it's like one really intense paragraph. You click on the read more and it takes you to a page that's like up to 2 pages long per thing. We just don't have time for it. But this one is firemountaingems.com. Excellent resource if you want to look further into this. So firemountaingems.com. They're gemstone resources, but I'm going to read from Gem Select. And again, if you go to this website and you buy something that you see, they're not going to send you something that's kind of similar. The exact thing that you buy is the picture on the page, and they'll ship that one to you, and then they'll take a new picture if they sell another. So what you see literally is what you get. So all right, I'm going to go down their list. Okay, starting with Cat's Eye, which is funny because the other one ended up with, Cat's Eye is towards the end, but actinolite is the actual name for Cat's Eye. And the gemstone meaning, according to gemselect.com, is it's very popular for metaphysical abilities. Yay, metaphysical. It is an excellent stone for both physical and spiritual healing and can be used for any of the chakras. So Cat's Eye, that's nice. It is used for balancing the energies of the heart, and it's known for producing soothing energies as well as awareness. I'm assuming that means awareness of your surroundings in addition to cosmic and metaphysical awareness. Agate gemstone meaning is basically it's a protective stone. It is believed to attract strength and offer protection from bad dreams, stress, and the draining of energy. Agate is said to balance energies and awaken your hidden talents. Amazonite. Oh, I love Amazonite. It's got sometimes white in it, and it's a very pale turquoise green. It's very beautiful. Amazonite has a soothing and calming effect. It accomplishes this by dispelling your negative energy and allows us to let go of all grief and sadness. Amethyst. Now, you guys know you could get like big, huge pieces of raw amethyst crystal, but it's also a gemstone, and you can get it like cut and faceted. It's beautiful. I used to have an amethyst ring years ago. It was one of my favorites. Amethyst calms your emotions, encourages clarity of thought, and assists in attaining wisdom. It is a stone of the mind, brings calmness and clarity. It is said to attune its wearer with intuition, feelings, and values. It's long been regarded as an aid to sobriety. Oh, I did not know that. And it's useful for combating alcohol, food, and other addictions. It's also thought to ease obsessive-compulsive behavior. Good to know. Apatite, speaking of obsessive-compulsive behavior, spelled differently, apatite, A-P-A-T-I-T-E, gemstone, is a gemstone of communication. It's believed to help stuttering, hypertension, and will assist the wearer in overcoming sadness and grief. A lot of these things, I think, give me all kinds of, gemstones. I'm sad. I want some gemstones. I think giving anybody a gemstone will help them overcome sadness and grief. I think it'll give you something outside of your own head to think about, because it's beautiful to look at. But maybe not. Maybe that's not exactly why. But apatite is said to have been able to fight viruses and promotes the blending of old with the new in one's life. Well, it sounds like it'd be something really good to wear while you're getting married. Something borrowed, something blue, something old, and something new. Aquamarine. Oh, it's one of the cutest movies ever about a mermaid. I love that. I watched that with my oldest kid when she was like 4 years old. And it was her favorite movie. And I had rented it, and it was her favorite movie, so I went and bought it so we could watch it anytime. And I was so happy when it was on Netflix. We watched it quite a bit then too, and I missed that movie. It's so good. But anyway, the birthstone, aquamarine or gemstone. Aquamarine is my oldest birthstone too, so yeah, it's really beautiful. Aquamarine, it's a Pisces stone in March. Aquamarine is associated with courage and release of anxiety and fear. It's thought to soothe, calm, alleviate fear, and help relaxation for long journeys. Many believe it protects sailors at sea and prevents seasickness. Of course, because it's a mermaid stone. Tradition holds that it gives insight and promotes mental clarity. Aventurine. Oh, I love this stone. This is like a pale green stone. Aventurine is a stone of opportunity. It's believed to attract prosperity. Some advise to keep it in your left pocket when you are buying a lottery ticket or playing any game of chance. Blue topaz. Ooh, blue topaz is beautiful. This is associated with courage and overcoming fears and obstacles. It is a traditional stone for writers, scholars, artists, and intellectuals. Well, good. I better start wearing a blue topaz then. It encourages higher thinking. It's said to ease mental anguish and promotes fidelity, friendship, gentleness, and integrity. Well, it sounds like a really wonderful stone. Chalcedony. I don't know if this is really a gemstone, but they're calling it one. Chalcedony is considered a sacred stone by Native Americans. Chalcedony nurtures and promotes brotherhood and goodwill. It is said to alleviate hostility, irritability, and melancholy. Well, that's a good stone to have. Citrine. Oh, you guys, I love citrines. Citrines are beautiful. They're like very clear and see-through, but they're gold, like a golden yellow to a golden orange, and every color in between. I used to have a 60-carat citrine that I lost in the storage thing. Seriously, like it just affected every area of my life. I had the most beautiful citrine, and I wanted to make it into a necklace, and I miss that stone. I have to buy a new one. But citrine is said to open your mind to new thoughts and balance impatience and restlessness. It's thought to promote optimism. It attracts abundance. It is called also the merchant's stone because it's often placed where business is conducted, not only to acquire your wealth, but also to help maintain it, to keep it within your grasp. It's good for mental focus, endurance, and self-esteem. Diamonds, again, here's 4 diamonds. It says, they're believed to absorb and amplify the thoughts of its user, as well as strengths and weaknesses of other gems and their wearers. So the ancients used diamonds for detoxification, and it also is believed to protect you from poison. The thing is with diamonds, if you're a very negative person and you wear diamonds, it's going to amplify it. If you're angry while you're wearing diamonds, your anger will be like 10 times or 100 times worse. So it just like a clear quartz crystal, diamonds will amplify anything that is around them. Now this is a really strange, it's a beautiful one. I've never seen this before. Diopside, Diopside. It's beautiful. It's like an emerald green. It looks like a little bit yellower than an emerald. This is thought to be a cathartic stone believed by crystal healers to heal traumas by bringing forth the tears of cleansing. This will foster creativity, love, and commitment, and includes green chrome. Okay, the diopside gemstones include green chrome diopside, chatoyant star diopside, and the newer diopside discovery called the rare Tash marine diopside. I have never even heard of this ever. I must have hopped a timeline, or maybe it's new, I don't know. Emerald. I love emeralds. This is a traditional stone. It's stated that emerald will aid fertility, improve your eyesight, and give the wearer psychic powers. It will lift your depression and relieve insomnia, promote self-knowledge, peaceful dreams, and encourages balance and patience. Fluorite. Now, I have heard that fluorite actually will help your teeth if you're having problems and you get a lot of tooth decay. Fluorite helps with that. Maybe you might want to also go to the dentist. Fluorite is thought to balance and stabilize intuition, regarded as an aid for learning and lateral thinking. Fluorite is believed to improve the ability to concentrate. Now we're back to garnets. Garnet gemstones are regarded as the stone of passionate devotion towards your family, your friends, yourself, and your purpose in life. Believed to stimulate the senses and increase vitality and stamina. Garnet attracts good luck in business ventures. And garnet gemstones do include more than just typical garnets. Also includes almandine garnet, pyrope garnet, color change garnet, demantoid, Malaya rhodolite garnet, and hessonite garnet, spessartite, savorite, I can't even say that, star garnets, and uvarovite garnets. And there are a lot of garnets out there, so they all stand for what I just told you. Iolite gemstone meanings. Iolite is beautiful. It's like a, I don't even know how to say. It's almost like an indigo blue mixed with lavender purpley. Iolites are really, really mystical. They're said to be the stone of inner vision. Yeah, I think it's like a third eye stone. believed to assist one in achieving higher awareness levels, and also thought to be useful for the elimination of debts and increasing financial responsibility. Jade, I love jade. Jade is a stone of serenity, thought to alleviate anxiety, fear, and to promote good luck. Jade not only brings prosperity, but encourages its wearer to hold on to money. A traditional charm for gardeners, jade is said to ensure bountiful harvests. Jade gemstones can include the pure varieties of jadeite and nephrite, which is also actually very good for kidneys. If you have kidney issues, nephrite is really good for you. As well as jade omphacite, jade albite, and mossitsit. I think they're making that up. Mossitsit, never heard of that. I have a funny and embarrassing story. I went to Jade Cove Beach for my birthday when I was so young. I was like 20 years old. And maybe I was 19, honestly. I was really young. And my boyfriend and I went down to Jade Cove Beach, and it was not a nude beach, but we made it one. And no one was around. It was middle of the week. No one was around at all. And we went swimming in the ocean, and I was playing with the sea anemones. And I'm like, it's my birthday. I'm going to go in my birthday suit. I just wanted to feel like one with nature. And so I did that. And it was a very deeply spiritual day for me. And we then got our bathing suits back on, and we're walking down the beach, and I saw all this jade. And I'm like, oh my God, this is really cool. And I started gathering all these pieces of jade, put in my purse, and took it. And I left. We left. We went all the way back to Santa Barbara, where we were living at the time. And I put all these pieces of jade. They had been sitting in our trunk, and they smelled really bad, like the ocean, like, the scent of dead things in the ocean. And I left it outside and poured water on it, and I think a little bit of bleach to clean them. And I was laying them outside to dry, and I forgot they were out there. And I lived in a converted one-car garage behind the house. And my neighbors they'd lived in California for like 20 years, but they were from Lithuania. Really sweet people. Velo was his name, and he was a very well-known landscaper in Santa Barbara. So without asking, he saw all of these gorgeous pieces of jade and thought they would be just perfect in a landscaping design. And obviously I didn't want them because I left them outside. Like, how convenient for him to think that. Anyway, he takes all the jade and he puts it in his landscaping design. And in the afternoon, I'm like, hey, Vela, I just got all this jade on my trip up the coast, and I really, I wanted these pieces, so I was going to make like a crystal grid in my house. And he's like, oh, those were yours? I'm like who the hell else would they be, right? It was in front of my door, where I was renting from him. And he's like, oh, I use them in a landscaping design. I'm like, I sure would love to have them back. He's like, oh, I can't. I mean, they already signed off on it. I'm not going back over there. And I was just like, that was just so cheap, right? Why would he stole my stuff. And he was like one of the sweetest people in the world. And he was a Virgo like me. His birthday was within like a week of mine. Sweet person. But I mean, I was so pissed off at him. And he's like, where did you get that anyway? Because that's a very rare form of jade. It was very, very beautiful. I'm like, oh yeah. I got it at Jade Cove Beach. And he goes, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. And I'm like, what? And he goes, it's absolutely illegal to take jade from there. I'm like, well, I didn't see any sign. I didn't know. He's like, that's a state park. You can't do that. I'm like, well, I didn't know. I was only 19. I was just a teenager. I was a kid, practically. And he's like, yeah, well, you can't do that. I'm like, oh my God. I had to climb down the side of this massive cliff. and then during high tide climb back up. There was like no way I could have even gone down there again. And it was like a 10-hour drive or something. I was just like, dude, I can't. I felt so bad. And he's like, the lady already saw it. She already has it. Now she's the one breaking the law if anyone ever caught her. But she didn't know the story of it, and he didn't know the story of it. I was the only one that knew, and then I told him. And to this day, I feel really guilty about that. If I had known, I never would have taken anything from there. It wasn't bad luck. It's not like taking something from Hawaii, which is extremely bad luck, by the way. But anyway, that's my really embarrassing admittance. I had no idea we weren't allowed to take the jade from Jade Cove Beach. It wasn't super high quality, but it was beautiful. Very, very beautiful jade. So there you go. Jasper gemstone meaning. Jasper quartz is a gemstone associated with relaxation, contentment, compassion, nurturing, and consolation. Jasper is said to relieve mental stress and help achieve balance in life. After you've taken jade from Jade Cove Beach. I'm just kidding. Kyanite. Kyanite is really beautiful. It's like kind of see-through and just the most beautiful blue. In fact, I saw clouds today that were this color outside my window. Kyanite is a calming stone. It quiets your mind, dissolves emotional and spiritual confusion, and it's particularly good at dissolving anger and frustration. And here we go again with the lapis lazuli. They say, according to Gem Select, it is an ancient stone that represents friendship and truth. Blue lapis lazuli gems are believed to bring about harmony in relationships, and it is a stone of wisdom and awareness. Moonstone, yay, encourages communication by promoting clear thinking, inspiration, and receptivity. It will assist you in the fulfillment of your destiny. Long regarded as a gemstone for psychic abilities, wish fulfillment, and balancing the emotions, moonstones thought to work better on things that are needed rather than things that are merely just wanted. Moonstone varieties include the blue sheen moonstone, rainbow moonstone, even though it's not really a real moonstone. They should call it rainbow stone then, right? And star moonstone. They should just call it star stone. Onyx. Black onyx repels negativity, protects its wearer from the hostility of others. It's a gem that's thought to enhance determination and perseverance. Opal gemstone is strongly associated with emotions, including love and passion. It's thought to promote spontaneity, imagination, dreams, and healing. Varieties of opal also include not just like the white ones, but black opals, common opals, white opals, chocolate opals, opal in matrix, Australian boulder opals, opal doublet, opal triplet, and fire opals. Oh, you guys, fire opals are just absolutely gorgeous. Peridot. This is my birthstone. This is for August. Gemstone meaning. Green peridot is thought to strengthen life, bring about prosperity, growth, and increase openness. Peridot is believed to help one understand relationships, alleviate depression, anger, fear, jealousy, and anxiety. And I'm going to tell you, right after Goddess Pele took 1,000 acres with her volcano last year, literally from the sky was raining peridots because, everything was like just crazy and going up into the air, and it was like dropping at people's feet. And they called peridot, this pale yellow-green stone, they call it Pele's tears. People were picking them up by the handfuls. They were like, look at this. It was like raining from the sky. I mean, there were huge boulders coming out, and there were, as the lava was flowing into the ocean and turning immediately into hydrochloric acid, some boulders were just jumping up out of the ocean and hitting boats. I mean, it was absolutely destructive, Mount Kilauea. But out of it came a whole, thousands and thousands of peridots. And I was like, "Aw, Goddess Pele's tears is my birthstone." And when I was giving birth to my son, Goddess Pele came to me during the Ring of Fire phase. If you've ever given birth, you know what the hell I'm talking about. Otherwise, I'm not going to mention what it is. But there's a part of giving birth that they call the Ring of Fire. And it freaking feels like it. And during that time, Goddess Pele came to me, and she was huge. I saw her. She showed up as black lava, like cooled lava, with her long flowing black lava hair, and she had orange lava colored eyes, like bright, and then she had her eyes were closed, and then she opened her eyes, and it was like a bright golden flame. And she looked at me and she said, "I will always protect your son." I'm like, okay, so that's one of his spirits, one of his goddesses that will always be a good friend to him. Makes sense, since he's a master of chaos. And so is Goddess Pele. So, prehnite, Prehnite. This is another pretty pale green. This is a gem with a mystical aura. And this is a stone of remembered dreams, meditation, and prophecy. Rose quartz is a stone of gentle love. It's, sometimes just like amethyst, you can have this in a gemstone setting. Rose quartz brings peace and calm to relationships. It's excellent to heal emotional wounds, remove negativity, and restore harmony after conflict, and promotes appreciation of the arts. I used to buy my mom rose quartz and amethyst all the time. And she said she really liked it. It kept an air of calm about her. She loved that. Ruby, red ruby. It's famous. Protects you from misfortune and bad health. Ruby also opens your heart and promotes love. Given as a gift, it is a symbol of not relationship. It's a symbol of friendship and love. The ruby, it's also a symbol of royalty, just like the other website said, and vitality. All right. Sapphire is long associated with peace and happiness. This is Virgo gemstone, is believed to help with communication, insight, intuition, inspiration, and prayer. The ancients believed that sapphires could help them predict the future. Let me guess, by placing it under your tongue? It doesn't say that, but that's kind of hilarious, right? Let's see. Brown smoky quartz is a stone of endurance, fostering serenity, calmness, and positive thoughts. I would also add to that it is a grounding stone. So, tanzanite, violet blue. Tanzanite is gorgeous. I love tanzanite. It's recently discovered gemstone. It's connected with the traditions of the Maasai tribe. Oh, no wonder I like it. I've had pieces of jewelry created by the actual Maasai tribe in Africa that my friend was selling when I was in college in California, and I was always wearing African jewelry. I loved it. It was magical, really magical. It gave me headaches sometimes because the magic was so powerful. It was, they're a very deeply spiritual tribe. Anyway, they believe that violet blue tanzanite has healing properties. They give tanzanite to newborn children because it represents life. Let's see, I'm going to skip over the tiger eye. It says the same thing. It heals grief and anxiety. Topaz calms a bad temper and gives strength. It improves mental clarity, focus, and increases confidence. Topaz gems are recommended for mood swings, insomnia, worry, fear, depression, and exhaustion. Topaz, and the one they're showing is a blue topaz. I love blue topaz. Tourmaline strengthens your body and spirit, attracts inspiration, concentration, encourages balance, and promotes understanding. Also, it's thought to calm your nerves, soothe grief, promote balance, and build confidence. Turquoise, we haven't gotten to this one yet. Blue and green turquoise attracts money, success, and love. It's a stone of friendship in many cultures around the world. Native Americans associate turquoise with the blue sky and the green earth. It is seen by many today as being symbolic of our roots in nature. Since the Middle Ages, zircon is believed to encourage spiritual growth and the promotion of wisdom. It's said that those who wear zircon will always find beauty and peace in their lives. And that is a very good stone to end this evening on. Well, that's it, guys. That's all I got to say about that. We're only a couple days away, so if you still want to send in your yearly predictions, I have not received a single prediction. If I don't get anything by the 30th, I'm going to call it quits on this one. So if you want to send me your predictions for 2020, I'm going to read it on the air. I don't have to say your name if you don't want me to, if you're shy. But go ahead and send that to metaphysicalsoulspeak@gmail.com in case you feel, if you get the nerve up to tell me what you think is going to happen next year to all of us. So other than that, that's all I got to say about that. I hope you guys had a really good, happy Christmas, and that your Hanukkah is going well for you if you're Jewish. I love each and every one of you. I want to thank you for liking, subscribing, and promoting to your Facebook groups and everyone that is opening up to spirituality that you believe my show can help. I wanted to thank you for being on the ascension journey with me, because we are doing it, man. We're working our butts off over here. God has rewarded the whole universe by giving everybody a level up. Every dimension, every being, every creature, every planet, every star just got lifted up, vibrationally speaking. And I've been feeling that. I've felt like 4 or 5 waves in the past 3 days. Massive waves. 2 of them are really, really big. So, I don't know. I hope you guys are paying attention to it, that you're feeling it too. And just take it in, accept it, and remember to focus on your upper chakras. But that's all I got to say about that. I'm done. I'm going to go sleep. I'm signing off with peace and joy and the high vibes of the holy 5th dimension. Until next time, guys, peace. Do you ever wish you could look into the next chapter in your book of life and see what's coming next? What does the universe have in store for you? I can help you with that. I will give you a Celtic cross reading, which is 10 cards, or you can ask me 3 questions, and I use 3 cards per question. So that's 9 cards, or I can channel your higher guidance, or maybe God directly for you. Maybe you want to talk to your dear departed Aunt Edna, because maybe you have a few questions and she was the smartest person you knew. If your deceased relatives are available, or your ascended masters, I can channel them for you personally. Let me have 1 hour to show you the future in your next chapter of your book of life. Readings are $75, and it takes me an hour to an hour and a half to complete. And for this price, you will also be hooked up to the healing grid around the planet for free, which means yours truly, me, I will be giving you Reiki 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for the rest of your life. All you have to do is let me know metaphysicalsoulspeak@gmail.com, and we will explore your future together.